హాయ్, నేను మీ రవికుమార్, స్ప్లంక్ ఎక్స్పర్ట్. సో 6.5 years నుంచి స్ప్లంక్ క్లాసెస్ చెప్తున్నాను. సో దట్ ఈరోజు మనం డిస్కస్ చేసుకోబోయే ఫస్ట్ 5 క్వశ్చన్స్ ఏంటంటే,
explain the architecture of Splunk Enterprise Security ES and what are the correlated success in the Splunk ES and what is the notable event in ES and what happened if such a cluster member goes down. Explain the replication factor and such factor in the indexer clustering. So just one by one we will break down. So first, explain the architecture of Splunk Enterprise Security ES. So Splunk ES sits on the top of Splunk platform, leveraging correlations such as data models and notable events. It includes a lot of key components like data modeling, acceleration, correlation search engines, incidence review dashboard, and many more, which will helpful to do SOC operations, security operational center. It is primarily used for detecting, investigating, and responding to the security threats. Basically, so many people are confused with Splunk and Splunk ES. Basically, Splunk is a platform. Simply, you can just understand Splunk is like a mobile, okay? Whereas ES is some of the premium application. You can download some of the application like paid applications from the App Store and Play Store. Na? Same like that. In the Splunk, there is a app store called splunkbase.com. You just download the premier application called Enterprise Security. It is exactly suitable for doing all SOC operations like Security Operational Center, which will helpful for detecting, investigating, and responding to the security incidences or threats. Any suspicious happening or any suspicious threats are happening in the environment, it's keep on working on security analysis, so that you just simply download that ES from the splunkbase.com on the platform of Splunk Enterprise and use the Splunk ES for these operations. So don't confuse with that. Splunk is a platform. Splunk Enterprise Security ES is a one of the application or a premier application which will exclusively work for the security operations, and it includes a lot of components like data model, correlations, instance review dashboard, and other notable events, something like that. Okay, next come to the what are correlations such as in the Splunk ES. Correlations such as are the schedules such as that detect suspicious patterns or security incidences. They are generating notable events when specific conditions are met, triggered alerts or incident workflows. See, sir, you are talking about a correlation search. It is one type of search, sir, but it is a schedule search. When the schedule search will be run, if any suspicious activity was detected or a suspicious patterns or security incidents or security threat was detected, immediately the schedule search will run and it will generate a notable event, which generates a notable event is nothing but one kind of alert based on the severity and based on the priority. It will meet the condition and it will trigger the alert in the form of incidents workflows. Now come to what is a notable event in the ES. As we discussed, notable event represents a detected security issues or anomaly generated by a correlation search. They are displayed in the incidence review dashboard for analysts to triage and investigate. As I said, like it is just a one alert, sir, but based on the priority and based on the severity. So if any suspicious activity or a suspicious patterns or security incidents was detected, so the correlation search will run and it will trigger the notification in the form of notable event. It is one of the most important concepts in the enterprise security. One is correlation search and other one is notable event. If you want more details about these two and you want to see as a practicals, you just go through our channel. In coming classes, we are uploading all these videos in our channel so that you will get more content on this type of activities. And also, if you are needs to get a job in this type of activities or like a Splunk or Splunk ES, just enroll the course in Provoke Trainings. So definitely we will teach you entirely in the practical sections so that you will get a job easily in this Splunk ES or Splunk course also. Now, fourth question: what happens if the such a cluster goes down? Such a member goes down, not cluster. Such a member goes down. The remaining members continue handling such as, sir, nothing will happen. So wherever the one member downs means no problem. The remaining members continually handling such as. If the captain node goes down, why? Because in the such there is a captain, sir. to maintain the replication coordinations and other things, we need a one captain. The captain will be elected with two methods. One is static and other one is dynamic. Static is nothing but manual method. Normally, we will elect a one captain from the cluster members, and it will behave like a captain, and it will coordinate the replication activities. And if captain will fails, automatically Splunk will follow the dynamic captain election process. So based on that, it will elect one captain, so that it will participate in the elections, so that who win more than 50% vote, that member will be a captain. So this is entire concept of such a clustering captain election process. This is all we call it as a raft method. But whatever it may be, so here the such a cluster having one captain and other members. So if member goes down, nothing will happen. Remaining members will keep on continue their activities. But if captain node goes down, another member is elected automatically in the form of dynamic election process, and user sections are redirected. The cluster operation continue without interruption. Why? Because captain will coordinate everything. Now come to explain the replication factor and search factor in the indexer clustering. So basically, replication factor and search factor are two important parameters used in the cluster master. By using cluster master, this replication factor and search factor will be sent to the indexer clustering. Based on the replication factor and search factor only, indexer cluster will maintain the identity copies of data, so that if any indexer will fails also, you will get 100% of data with a high availability of data transfers. So that replication factor means how many number of copies of data stored across the indexers will be belongs to raw data. Actually, in Splunk indexer, there are two types of data we are storing. One is raw data and other one is metadata. Raw data and metadata. Raw data is nothing but actual data, whether it is parsed, whether it is transformed, whether it is unstructured, whether it is semi-structured, whether it is structured, whatever it may be. Actual data, we call it as a raw data. Okay. Whereas metadata is nothing but the data which will point into your actual data. Let's say, for example, references. For example, in book, there is a 300 pages. 298 pages are raw data. The first two pages are metadata. So 1 to 10 Splunk introduction, 10 to 20 Splunk components, 20 to 30 Splunk administrator architecture implementation, 30 to 40 Splunk development part, 40 to 50 Splunk commands. Like some index page will be there now, that will consider as a metadata, which will point into your exact raw data. Na? Same. Whatever the data coming to the Splunk indexes will store two types of data. One is raw data, that is actual data. For that, Splunk automatically creates metadata and it will store along with raw data. So for that, if you want to maintain high availability of data, you need to maintain identity copies of data. So for that, if you want to maintain identity copies of data, you need to maintain two copies. One is raw data as well as metadata. So replication factor depends upon the raw data. How many number of copies of data stored across the indexes in the form of raw is called as a replication factor. Search factor means how many number of searchable copies maintained in the entire cluster will be based on search factor. So there is a condition also. Replication factor always be greater than or equals to search factor. Every time search factor is less than or equals to replication factor. Why? Replication factor is actual data, whereas metadata was created from the actual data. That means if the replication factor, that means replication copy is not there, how metadata was created from that actual copy? It's not possible. With the replication factor only, metadata will be created. If replication factor is not there, how the extra copy of metadata will be created? It's not at all possible. Let's say, for example, there is a 3 books. You have three raw data. That means 3 books completely we have, and 3 contents are there. 3 index pages are there. Very good. But 3 books are there. Only 2 books having a 2 contents. No problem. There is a third book. From the raw data, you can create your own index. But you have a 4 raw data and you have a 4 metadata. Means how it will be possible? Where you created 4th copy from the raw data. Without a raw data, how you created 4th copy of metadata? It's not at all correct. Na? So that's why replication factor always be greater than or equals to search factor. So due to the time constraint, I'm trying to explain very fastly on this concept. but it is very, very interesting concept and very, very important concept in the Splunk administrator. If you want to look onto this concept, definitely you need to look at our channel, YouTube channel. There is a videos, so you can find the videos of replication factor and search factor and indexer clustering concepts, so that there we can have a detailed explanation. You can get everything from the detailed explanation. Still you are facing a issue, just enroll the course in Splunk in the Provoke Trainings, so that we are teaching everything practicals and you can see in the practicals about this. That's all. I think next go to the concept also. For example, replication factor equals to 3, search factor equals to 2 means here 3 copies of raw data and 2 copies of searchable copies it will be maintained. For example, how it will be maintained? Like this, it will be maintained. See, for example, this is the diagram you have. If you check, 1A is the actual copy. 1A is the source bucket, and 1B and 1C are the copies of the bucket. See, 1A, 1B, 1C. See, total 3 copies. 1, 2, 3. Same like that. 2A, 2B, 2C. Here it is maintaining third copy. 3A, 3B, 3C. Here it is maintaining some third copy. Okay, like that here it is maintaining a 3 identity copies of raw data. 3 identity copies of raw data on entire cluster. Even though you have a 5 peer nodes, that is 5 indexes also, entire cluster it will maintain 3 identity copies of raw data and 2 searchable copies of raw data, metadata. So like this will be maintained, sir. Don't confuse. Replication factor equals to 3 means 3 identity copies of raw data will be maintained on the entire cluster, whereas search factor equals to 2 means 2 searchable copies of data will be maintained on the entire cluster. So this is about the 5th question. Now we already discussed all, explain the architecture of Splunk Enterprise Security and what are the correlations such as in Splunk ES and what is notable event in ES and what happens if such a cluster member goes down. Explain the replication factor and search factor in the indexer clustering. This is about today interview questions. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to stay tuned to Provoke Trainings for more exact content like this. So if you like my videos, if you like our content, so there is a link in the description. You just click on that link and give your details like this, so that our team will capture all your details and they contact you and they share more details about the content. So don't forget to fill this form if you like my content. So full name, mobile number, mail ID, location, and course you are looking for, and then submit it, so that you we will get your contact and we will contact you and we will guide you and we will explain more on content and course related things. Thank you. Signing off, Ravi Kumar from Provoke Trainings. Bye. Thank you so much. Bye bye.